It's Walker here. Walker's Waves. Walker's Way Weight Training. Today's video is going to be on hair chemicals, texturizers. What do they do to our hair? And is it safe to use them? Now, to answer the first question, what a texturizer does is that it chemically alters your hair texture for a short amount of time. Now, what I mean by that is that it straightens your hair out. So you can be a coarse hair waver and it'll straighten it out to, a medium hair to a fine hair waver for some people or for some kids, depending on what you get. They don't make your hair fall out. What it will do is that it will weaken your natural hair strand. So when you go back and you start brushing your hair regularly, like how you would without using the chemicals, the brush is no longer touching your hair so much, it's more touching your scalp. Weakened to be straight, and when you straighten curly hair and when you go back and you brush with a hard or medium brush, which is what most coarse hair wavers, curly hair, nappy hair, whatever you want to call it, use, that brush is going to be touching your scalp more. Now when you touch the scalp more with a brush, it does irritate the scalp and it can cause male pattern baldness. You see, when the chemicals make your hair straight, it makes it weaker. So, it's not, your hair is not so nappy anymore. So you have to brush different when you use the chemicals. Everything has to be done a little different to protect your scalp. Because if your scalp is irritated, it's going to show. Your hair won't grow back as thick as it used to be. And then you start having male pattern bald spots. The fork that you used to, get out fairly easy becomes a big fork, and it's not so hard to get out anymore because your scalp is irritated from brushing so hard after putting a texturizer in your hair. So, do I recommend texturizers? No, I don't. I try to stick to all natural products. And I advise all of my wavers to do the same. Now, I'm not saying that you can't use them. You can use them right, and it'll be no problems. But I'm making this video for my wavers that are doing that because, they're back in school now, and, they can't brush as much as they used to. So, when they get home, they're not really happy. They're not able to keep the wave cap on all day long anymore because, we're back in school now. You can use the chemicals to lay your hair down, to lay it flat, to make it more easy. It'll lay down more. It won't stick up as much. It won't be frizzy. Just make sure that when you go back and you brush your hair, you be a little bit easy with the brush. Either shorten the sessions or maybe switch from a medium to a soft brush, even if your hair is long, because you don't want to irritate your scalp. You never want to irritate the scalp. You have, without the chemical being in your hair, you would do a 30 to 45 minute brush session to naturally make your hair more manageable and wavy, to where after putting a chemical in your head, you brush for 30 minutes, and I guarantee you at least 20 minutes of that has just been brushing the scalp, because your hair is so weak, it's chemically straightened. And that can cause weak hair growth when your hair grows back. And we don't ever want that. It'll be evident that you used a kit or chemicals when you go and get that haircut. So be mindful of that. When you are woofing and you can't stand your hair to be curly or nappy and you want it to be straight as fast as possible, well, if your brush sessions don't change and you remain brushing the same, we're irritating the scalp more because our hair is weakened. So when you go to that 1.5 haircut, or even a 2, it's gonna show that you used a kit. It will. So be careful, wavers. Be careful with unnatural products. Use unnatural products scarcely, and make sure that if you go that route, make sure that we pay more attention to when we brush our hair, that we're not irritating our scalp. Because that's the worst thing that a waver can do, is irritate his scalp. The worst thing that you can do is scratch your hair or scratch your head when your head is itchy. That's the worst thing that you can do. That's going to cause a fork. Definitely. That's why when wavers, if our scalp is itchy, we pick up a brush and brush. Or we go and shampoo our hair. So make sure that we don't have to be scratching our scalp all day long and creating forks. Because you don't want to irritate your scalp. It's already being moved enough by the brush sessions that you put in. So when you add the chemicals and stuff to straighten your hair out, and then you go back and you brush it with the hard brush and stuff, it's going to touch the scalp more. So it's kind of like scratching your scalp every time you brush after you use a chemical. So hope y'all learned something up on this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Visit my Instagram at Walker's Waves for more tips and motivation and wave pics. And stay wavy, stay in school. You can do it. Walker's Way.